why do we need Web3 for starters? The inefficiency or failures of the current systems, or the challenges or hindrances that we encounter in the current systems, provide a very huge kind of gap that leaves us so many of us so unsatisfied or discontented. All right, I'm Engineer David Lumala. I'm a principal blockchain software and architect. I've been here since 2021, and I have lots to share in case to inspire someone, to draw sort of inspiration to push you to the next kind of thing that you should be working on, and why must you adopt Web3, both as a builder, a consumer, and then also as a normal person. Why does it matter? Why should we care? Why should you as a person care? All right, so you realize that we have so much around that. Personally, from an experience, we have so much talent. Talent is across the board. The people that we have here, the tech that we use is often built in Silicon Valley, and these are the global hubs outside Africa. So we realize that there's a mismatch between us and our talent, or us. The problems are here, but then the talent we rely on is beyond or across the borders. So ours is to start and inspire people to build something, to think beyond their normal convention, and then adopt Web3 technology to solve most of the problems they encounter in the normal days, in their normal day-to-day lives. Personally, I've worked on different projects, specifically climate-facing with Green Ant, and then also different auditing and payment solutions. So that is my line of work as an individual. And then, of course, moving here to there, like doing the nomadic work, most especially in advocacy, and I would say DevRel, to inspire and grow people professionally in Web3 into developers, into researchers, into creatives, and so many other business verticals. So why do we need Web3 for starters? The inefficiency or failures of the current systems, or the challenges or hindrances that we encounter in the current systems, provide a very huge kind of gap that leaves us so many of us so unsatisfied or discontented. And if you can have technology that can do bridge, that can close those gaps, then I feel it's always ideal to find a way of incorporating it not only into the newer systems, but also the older systems, the legacy systems, as we normally say. So the critical aspects or provisions of blockchain technology is, number one, the ability to have something truly transparent. Because once you have something truly transparent, it remains standard. Even if it is a year, 2, 3, 4, 10 from now, you can always come back and refer to the same system or the same thing, and you'll have a kind of common reference, which is a big challenge with the modern systems. So you see, transparency as a quality or as a property becomes very central to many of the things that we have to build, and therefore we must adopt a system that enforces transparency from the grassroots, and blockchains or Web3 broadly encompasses or enforces that. That is number one. And secondly, how about the ability to have something that is truly verifiable, permanent or immutable, and then also expressive? By expressive, I mean the way it is, the way we say it, the way it happens is the way we capture it. That expressivity is often called censorship resistance, because when something is censorship resistant, the way it's formed is the way it remains throughout its entire life or period of stay. So our modern systems or our current systems don't have or lack in many of those aspects, and blockchains provide a solution. So I feel that's how I can quickly summarize it. Then how do we get more people to build? The people who are already building, how do we keep them going so that they don't lose interest? Just like any new technology, so many things keep evolving, and there is no one shoe or one size fits all. So the number one trick to be inspired, or the number one trick to keep up, if I may say, is to have an active and engaging community around you. If you can be or participate in as many communities, whether it is online or in physical life, in real life, you should do that, because the second stage would require you to research, but in most cases, sometimes research requires self-drive. If you don't have that self-drive, most of the times you cannot be a good researcher, and therefore, if you're not a good researcher, you cannot have most of this information. And if you don't have the information, Web3 is a very hard game for you to play without information. So the very first and basic thing is keep an active community around you. If you say you are interested in Lisk, look for Lisk people around. Get to their Discord online. Go to their Telegram. Go to their LinkedIn. Like, participate in those circles where Lisk people are, because there's a very high likelihood that even the item you never researched about or you never knew, someone else in that circle probably has an idea or clue about it. So you may not directly have read it somewhere, but because you had someone say it from their research, you get to learn about it. So that is number one, community. And community, by the way, most people underrate it, but community is everything in Web3 for starters, because there's a very high chance that the people you find in Web3 are the very first primary market you will sell your product to, even if you build a very nice product. It will, for them, it makes much more sense. They know how to value it. Like, they appreciate it because they're already in that community, as opposed to selling to a normal or lay person you've found outside or anywhere on the street. Then secondly, another good pillar or strong pillar is the continuous hunger for knowledge. As I've said before, it's a very highly evolving kind of system or ecosystem. So for that matter, things change every now and then, and you cannot just swallow it up all in one take, implying that even if you mastered something today, a week from now, so much may have changed and probably will have changed, you know. So what does it mean? You keep searching, or you keep hungering or looking for more information, so that you keep yourself updated, and both with the industry trends and then also the current technologies that come along, simplifying. And the other thing is, we live in an age of artificial intelligence. At least we are witnessing a new dawn of artificial intelligence, and for that matter, we have to harness its capabilities to, aid in everything that we do, whether it is research, whether it is in consumption, whether it is engagement and learning. Take it on. The final bit, number one is community, then research. The final bit, most as I conclude, is being the first customer of Web3. That teaches you a lot. If they talk over wallets, like, be the very first customer, be the very first consumer. If they talk about MetaMask, download MetaMask. If they talk about Phantom, download Phantom. See how it works. Tell your story your way, because it's better to believe your story than what you've heard from other people. Because you say you have a concrete reason and say, you know what, when I clicked this, it brought this, because it is you telling your story. So be the very first consumer of a product. If it is Web3, like, look for wallets, get them. If they mention Exodus, how does Exodus work? If they mention Talisman, how does the Talisman work? Like, consume it. And perhaps it gives you a better picture on maybe what sort of guidance you need to build your other project, because you are your own first consumer. If it sucks to you, there's a very high likelihood that even in your market, in your community, it will suck. So first build something you yourself are proud to use, and then sell it to other people. So with those three, I feel it is reason enough to keep everyone going. The thing is, don't lose their spirit. Always find people to cling on, and community will give you that. That's why I put the community factor as number one. Yes, you may not be so good at research, but probably someone in your community has done the research. You may not be so good with research, but when you consume the Web3 product yourself, you won't have to believe someone else's story who lost money through a scam, yet they're just telling a story. So what if you do it yourself and you capture your own story and you tell it? The other final bit is to learn to tell stories. Clear? We are doing this interview because I'm telling my story. You see? So even you, wherever you are, in whatever you do, tell your story. Get online. Write a Twitter post. Write a blog. Write on LinkedIn. Like, the good thing with Web3 is that people are listening. Everyone is, in some way, you get someone who wants to listen to you. Clear? So when you write your story, you write about your experience, what your expectations were. Like, you get that continuous engagement and feedback. It still comes back to community, because now you are creating a community which is interested in what you have to say, or which knows that you exist. So in a nutshell, community research, and individual user experiences. Don't tell someone else's bad story. Tell yours, and we shall believe you, and it will inspire even more people. Thank you.